Hello, and welcome to the start of my trilogy reviews because one of the things I thought about doing for this month of August is for 3 weeks review a trilogy of movies, starting with on the Monday, ending on a Friday, which is my normal upload schedule, and those three being the trilogy movies. And the first batch, as you can tell by the title, is the original trilogy of Star Wars. Um, Now, why did I pick the original trilogy of Star Wars? Before we get into my review of A New Hope, and that is because I wanted to, I decided to do a re-review of my Empire Strikes Back because I'd done one for my 200 subscriber special. I'm not gonna lie, I rushed it. I rushed it to get it out as quickly as possible. I didn't take the time to to fully explain why I don't like that movie. So on Wednesday, you will get that explanation. At least I hope to be able to do that. I don't know yet. I'm recording this the 1st of July, um, a whole month before this is due up, so I haven't rewatched Empire. So that's the main reason why I decided to cover the original trilogy of Star Wars movies. Plus, it's been 3 years since I last watched it, and one of my favorite episodes of How I Met Your Mother is called Trilogy Time, where in that episode it's talked about watching the original trilogy every 3 years. The last time I done that was in 2020 on an old channel with a video that has been privated, where I, on Star Wars Day of 2020, at the beginning of the pandemic, I done a machete order of source where I watched A New Hope, Empire, Revenge of the Sith, and then Return of the Jedi. Um, so it's been a while since I watched it, and the more I thought about it, of the original trilogy itself, the more I loved A New Hope. And even after watching this rewatch of A New Hope, I still love it, and I think out of the original trilogy, it's probably my favorite. It's just the most well-rounded of the trilogy. It has a perfect beginning, middle, and end, and Luke goes on a really good character journey. The hero's journey, to be precise. And this movie is the one that is constantly mentioned with a hero's journey because he does go through um, that arc. The beginning of this movie, he's a little bitch boy, complaining about not being able to do some certain things, because his uncle and aunt want to keep him on the moisture farm, and then just by happenstance, he gets they buy C-3PO and R2-D2 droids that were owned by his father in the past, and then that led them to go look for Ben Kenobi, and all of the shenanigans happen. Now, I for this review I did watch the special edition that came obviously on the Blu-ray disc. I have not seen the despecialized edition version of A New Hope or Star Wars, whichever way you want to refer to it as. And I probably will at some point, track down a copy of the without the effects because as I was watching it, so the effects that didn't really bother me on my other rewatches somewhat bothered me this time. They just on my Blu-ray copy they just did not look that great because this is the first time I'm seeing it on the Blu-ray because the first time I watched it was on DVD as a kid, and it didn't bother me then. I thought that was how it was, supposed to look. It wasn't until later on that, of course, I learned about the special editions and why a lot of people don't like them. And then when I watched it on Disney Plus 3 years ago, it didn't necessarily bother me. But paying more attention to it now for this review, I did not like it. But yeah, there's not a character that you cannot like in this. Luke Yeah, he's a little bitch boy at the beginning, but we see the character journey that he goes on through this, the hardships that he has to endure. Um, his aunt and uncle being murdered, um, him then going off into space, learning of that the story he was told of his father was completely not true. And then, of course, Ben Kenobi telling him that it was Darth Vader that killed him, from a certain point of view. And it is true. Like, when they done the Kenobi show, which that's something else, after watching the Kenobi show last year and then getting to rewatch this, it's nice to know. It's nice seeing how it adds more. The Kenobi show adds more to this movie. It adds more to why Leia would be excited to see Ben. You know, because before this we didn't know that they had actually met in person, and obviously we do know that because of the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Speaking of Obi-Wan, Sir Alec Guinness, of course, is fantastic as Obi-Wan Kenobi, even if he hated Star Wars fans. Because if memory serves correct, from what I've heard, about Sir Alec Guinness is he was only really in these sequels for the money. He didn't like Star Wars fans. I could be completely wrong about that. That could just be some misinformation that I have been told over the years. Someone can please correct me in the comments. But he plays stoic old age wizard perfectly. Really really good. Obviously Harrison Ford as Han Solo. What more can I say? He's amazing in it. He's the perfect swindler and all that stuff. And what I do like is he's trying to hype up his ship and all that. I think it's just literally him trying to hype it up to swindle these guys out of money. Ben Kenobi and Luke, in order to get them to pay him to do this stuff, just over exaggerating, as a swindler should. Obviously Chewbacca is Chewbacca. The same with the droids. Obviously, Darth Vader is absolutely amazing. Even his first appearance, the samurai inspired outfit that he has is amazing. And of course, James Earl Jones is Darth Vader. His voice is absolutely amazing. Now, I have, of course, seen the original actor in the suit that was in the suit for the vast majority of the movies, and we only really hear James Earl Jones' voice. I have heard the version of him saying, talking the lines. It. I'm glad they went with James Earl Jones to do the voice. I'm glad George decided to do that because it fits Vader more. It gives him that bit more of a booming voice. Peter Cushing as Grand Moff Tarkin. I've only really seen Peter Cushing in two movies. This and of course, the '60s Doctor Who movies, which I absolutely loved. And the little screen time he has, he's absolutely amazing in it. And of course, Carrie Fisher. What more can you say? She's absolutely amazing in it, and I genuinely do love this movie. Out of all 9 Star Wars movies, excluding the likes of Rogue One and Solo, which I have not seen, um, we're just focusing on the original trilogy here. A New Hope is definitely my favorite out of the lot, and the more I think about it, the more I thought about it before this rewatch, the more I was dead set. Yes, out of the original trilogy, I would rank it A New Hope, Return of the Jedi, and then Empire. Obviously, when I get around to doing Return of the Jedi on Friday, I'll have to reevaluate that because I haven't rewatched it. Yeah, I have obviously rewatched Empire early on this year for my 200 subscriber review. So we all know how I feel about that. So that has been my review, sort of A New Hope. Because there's not really much more that I can say that hasn't been said over the past 40 odd years that this movie has been out. There's a reason why Star Wars became so popular because of this movie. It is fantastic. I loved it from beginning to end on every rewatch. And yeah, I can definitely say out of the original trilogy, A New Hope is my favorite. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you all on Wednesday for my Empire Strikes Back review, which I am fully expecting to lose subscribers on again. But you'll have to wait until Wednesday for me to fully explain what it is about Empire that I do not like. I'm going to hope that I'm able to do just that. So, with that being said, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and may the Force be with you.